Good afternoon. Sridevi, can you see me now? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We'll wait for 2-3 minutes. I've enabled the good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Babu, I can't also see it. I think there's a glitch. There's a glitch. I'll get it sorted. I should be able to enable it from here, but my enabling is also not here. No issues. You ask me the question here if you want to, Babu. If anybody has any question you want to ask me, you can ask me whilst people join in. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Wait 1 more minute. You want me? Can share second question. Gandhi Tagore question you want to see? It's asking you about in two sections the differences and the similarities in a way. Let me see the exact question what it is saying. Education and 1 second. Difference between Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore towards education and nationalism. Now see, nationalism and education, two things are the basic things in which you have to divide them. First, this is not no one situation. It is very particular. Can we go with Tagore's views? It is very what beginning nature. What do you mean by beginning? See, you have to keep it simple. You can't go into proper Tagore philosophy. See, education is something big in nature. Huh? So what you do is that the question, the getaway, or the way you come out of this question unscathed is by using nationalism. Because education-wise, there is a lot about Tagore, there's a lot about Gandhian model of education, which is based on certain understanding of ashram and the way he wanted to go for what we call as vocational into Harijan campaign, into and changing the nature of schools itself, Western education. A major difference between them would be that in a way Gandhi stressed about vernacular education, less of Western education, and there are quite controversial views about how mathematics or the modern sciences itself is a tool of colonialism. Tagore was much more open about it. So when we talk about Tagore is more open to Western education. His Gurukul model, the best example being Shantiniketan itself, how he brought in both traditional and modern together. That part is going to dominate the first part. It's a 150-word question, so you don't have a lot to write. Rather play on nationalism, wherein Gandhian nationalism is mass nationalism based on a certain understanding of struggle to struggle. Use those words there. Use those words there. While talking about Tagore when it comes to nationalism itself, taking from his father Rabindranath Tagore itself, Tagore's nationalistic role that way is there, but is not comparable to Gandhi. While Tagore was a very important literary figure, when we talk about nationalism, Gandhi is a towering figure. So difference would be again the way that Gandhi rejected nationalism, rejected the British in a way through his ideas of Hind Swaraj and all. See, for this type of question, understand this point. For this type of question, your general knowledge about them should be better. That is a tricky question. Everybody knows about Gandhi and his nationalism and his education. Problem is the Tagore part. If, for example, you're caught off guard, you don't know about Shantiniketan, you don't know how he's related to Western education, how he's more towards Western education, you have no idea about his role in nationalism vis-a-vis being a literary figure, vis-a-vis the Swadeshi movement itself, how he was important in the extremist phase itself. The problem in this case, if I am a candidate sitting in the examination, I will not leave this question. What I will do is that I have to fill 150 words. Gandhi, you know, right? Write the Gandhi part accurately, and whatever idea you have about Tagore, you write it. What is going to happen is that where you are going to get a 0, at least you're going to get a 4 or 5. It is a tricky question. Except for philosophy optional, and maybe I think except for philosophy optional English literature, no one else would have a very in-depth idea of Tagore. If you want to read these things, there are small handbooks, introduction to Tagore, his understanding, but the problem is they're written from a literary perspective. This part you will not get quite a lot. His father played a very important role in creating the Tattva Bodhi Sabha and was related to the Brahmo Samaj quite a lot. Tagore himself was more towards the literary. As I said, this question is tricky. If you want to go and write proper details about Tagore, nobody is going to write a good answer here. The student who writes a better answer in the sense of writing it in such a way that generic things also become true for Tagore, and knowing the fundamental difference between the two, which I think you would not know. You would need to read about Tagore, but why not write the Gandhi and get your marks and come out? How to read, it will not, but then how much reading, it will not get end. See, Prabhu, see, what I understand your perspective, that there's no end to it. That you read Tagore, then you will read, for example, someone else, then they will give Gandhi this, Gandhi that. I get your point, that the simple point is that any combination can be asked. Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose makes sense. Gandhi, Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Gandhi, Dr. Ambedkar makes sense. This is out of the blue, they've asked Tagore. Even if there was something related to Tagore in the news, nobody's going to ask you a comparative question. The what we call as foolish part would be that you very simply make a table and then write Gandhi here and then Rabindranath Tagore here. Then for sure you will get caught in the examination lying about something or randomly lining vague points. Rather write it in a way of what we call as point wise. Wherever you know about Gandhi, write that correctly and understand one point. All of them have something in common, which is that they all have a certain zeal to remove the British. Their methods are different. And we know more about Gandhi than we actually know about Tagore vis-a-vis nationalism. So Tagore's name comes through vis-a-vis the Swadeshi movement. So you talk about the Swadeshi movement. Gandhi is throughout the movement itself. But when it comes to education, you know less about education of Tagore than actually you know about Gandhi. And therein, you would have to know about at least Shantiniketan. Shantiniketan we do reference to when we talk about Swadeshi. And when I will be teaching you, for example, Bharatnatyam, I will talk to you about how Shantiniketan, an institution started by him, was using or was a place of revivalism. If you can write Shantiniketan, if you can write about his literary responsibilities, if you can write about his Swadeshi responsibilities, if you can talk about how he is more towards Western education, your work is done. 150 words is not a lot of words. Understand this point. And there's Gandhi, but the foolishness would be to make a table, which I know a lot of students would have done because they are programmed to do like that. Here, the smarter student will write a paragraph point-wise based answer, and nobody is going to answer this. This is a point, Prabhu, and everybody has to realize, and everybody has to understand. When you don't know a question, everyone else doesn't know that. There is nobody in who's giving this examination except for philosophy optional who would know about Tagore more than you would. So here you have to be smart. That this is called street smartness. Every time there will be a tricky question. Every time there will be a tricky question. But it's about how you manage it. I get your point, Prabhu. I understand your point that there is no end to these things. That if I'm doing this, I will have to do something else. But it is not true for just you, but for everyone else also. If you are reading about certain personalities, sure, it will help you. If you are not reading about them, then use the information to at least attempt the question. Most of the students will not attempt it, or will make certain fundamental differences or mistakes, which will make the examiner evident that he does not know about Tagore. There's a way of coming out of this without being caught. And that is the art of answer writing. That you have also done in your engineering, that you've done in your masters, in your BA honors, or in your BTech, everywhere. So yeah, just write it like an essay. That's a very good point. Essay, in essay, do you know what you have to write? No. Once you get the topic, you just weave something around it. 150-word essay is not difficult. Not doing it is the problematic aspect here. Attempting the question, getting that 5, 6, 4, whatever it may be, is worth it and has to be done. But in the exam, never attempt these questions first. Come to these questions in the end, when you have time to do it, because you should not be jeopardizing your question which you know the answer for by attempting this question first. This should be kept in the end. When you have time, you've covered all the questions, you are making sure that you're getting the maximum in everything else where you know it. See, simple. 6 questions came. 6 questions came. 1 was difficult. What is the percentage? I'll do that, Prabhu. There's a glitch on my side. I'll get it done. Don't worry. What is the percentage? If 6 questions came, 1 is difficult. What is the percentage? Come on, engineers. Can't be 1%. Can't be 1%. Prabhu. 17%. Somebody saying 10. 6 question came. 1 question is difficult. What is 1, 6 into 100? What is this? How much is this? 100 divided by 6 is how much? 17. So 17% round off. If by the end of it, I will tell you, out of the whole paper, 100%, 25% questions are always difficult. Meaning 100 questions, 25 questions will always be difficult in prelims. They would be extremely hard. That way the ratio is still very, very low. Out of 6, if you're getting 5 correct and 1 you're able to write an answer, your work is done. There is nobody in this world who attempts the whole paper 100% and knows everything. Don't do this mistake. Because students chase papers, don't chase papers. And I 110% predict right now. Now what will happen is all mocks till the next GS paper 1 will somehow have some combination. Gandhi Nehru, Nehru Bose, Ambedkar Bose, this Bose, that Bose. They will mix match. What they will do is that they will now create a trend in which they will chase the paper. What will happen is it will create pressure on you. Now you need to know Bose, you need to know Nehru, you need to know Gandhi, Dr. Ambedkar, you have to know Tagore. They will now start to add random people who will not be even related. Now see, UPSC could have given TRR, but they didn't. They could have given, for example, Narayana Guru. They did not pick up a pure social reformer. And that is why the question was difficult. They can't give it to Buddha and Mahavira. UPSC is not that dumb. And they will never make a difference between Buddha and Mahavira. Then that is basically the difference between Buddhism and Jainism. That's a very easy question. That is the easiest question about that. So what is the difference between Buddhism and Jainism? Totally different religions, totally different practices, totally different concepts. I'm having this conversation with you because I want you to understand the perspective from which the examiner made the question. He could have given a social reformer, but rather than going for a social reformer, he went for a straightforward literary because Rabindranath Tagore is very important for the nationalist literature. But vis-a-vis how he worked on the ground is a totally different concept itself. So can I come back to temple architecture? Prabhu wanted to have a conversation about this. Anybody else wants to have it? Raja Ram Mohan Roy would be easy again. Those are easy questions because everybody knows about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He or she picked up a very interesting personality who are never compared vis-a-vis nationalism, education, about literature, about the contribution to people they do it. Nationalism, neither of the two are, that's not a good combination. Okay, can we talk about temple architecture? Yes, come on, still people are joining in. Yes, Prabhu, we must have calling feature. It is there. There's a glitch when this stream was prepared. I have refreshed it. It did not work. We'll get it sorted. Don't worry. And you will be able to call me by the evening. So don't worry about that. Okay. You can talk about the national anthem. Sure, you can. It's about comparing two personalities. Those are individual contributions. That was the Gandhi list is going to become equally big as Rabindranath Tagore's. But their views on nationalism, their contributions on nationalism, differences, meaning implication. Understand the question. Understand the question. These are questions related to how they approach these two things. Their views on education vis-a-vis each other. Okay. So before this break itself, we were discussing temple, and we discussed very simply the basic structure of a temple, and we discussed and we made a 2D diagram of it also. Garbhagriha, Shikhar, Amlaka, Kalasha, Mandapa, Ardha Mandap, and raised platform. But very simply, well, if time allows, take first question in same paper. Okay, Prabhu, either you've joined me very late, and I think I have discussed the first question, and maybe you joined in between. I had a very proper discussion in part A with regards to the question paper. And I think everybody is going to attest the fact that I did. I discussed each and every question. You have neither joined late or were not part of that discussion. I discussed the importance of the geography and ancient. So yeah, so I was not on time. So go back and you can watch the simple video recording, but I've discussed that. Okay. Now I'm not going to digress in that sense. So temple we've discussed. This is a more formalized way of it, which is that when you talk about the basic parts of a temple, as I said, Garbhagriha, Ardha Mandap, Mandap, Shikhar, Amlaka, and Kalasha are standard features which you'll find. Sanctum Sanctorum is where the god resides. Mandapa is where congregation hall, portico, if you want to call it. Shikhar is the curvilinear tower which gives power and gives certain type of grandeur. Could be hollow, could be fully solid. There's no standard rule for that. And then you have also sometimes in different temples, mostly in all temples, you have vahan. Basically, all gods have their vahans or vehicles to which they move. For example, for Lord Ganesha, it is the mouse. Therefore, there is a standard concept of having vahans also installed in the mandapa. This is the end product. But UPSC, for UPSC, you need to know how did we come about it, which is the first question is what are the components of the temple? Anybody has any issue in this question? Anybody has any issue in this question? What are the components of a temple? You are capable enough of making it and doing it and making it on in paper in a small way and no issues at all. Now the question is evolution of temple design and components. And herein, you have 5 stages which you need to understand. You will find all of this in NCERT, but in NCERT, the fine arts NCERT is a little bit difficult the way it has been written. So I'll simplify it for you very simply. So you have stage 1. Stage 1, earliest of temples. What we see is that they have a square garbhagriha. They have a square garbhagriha. They also have what we call as mandap. But that is it. That is it. So the earliest temples which developed had a garbhagriha, had a mandap, but no raised platform. And what is also missing is no shikhar. This is the first. And the temple 17 at Sachi is a good example of this, which is a square garbhagriha, a small mandap with whatever shallow pillars, which are very light pillars, but there is no shikhar. So it's a flat roof, square in shape, shallow pillars portico, which is mandapa, and it's on a low platform. So for us, 2 major features are absent: no raised platform, no shikhara, and Ardha Mandap and Mandap distinction only comes later. So we believe that Mandap is there, so Ardha Mandap is also there in that way. Now comes stage 2, which is by the mid of 5th, 6th century CE. We start to see the stage 2 temples, which is that they have now developed a very important thing, which is important for our discussion. What have they developed out of this image? What can you make out? What have they developed in the second stage? Very good. No shikhara, but raised platform has come through. Garbhagriha is already there. Mandapa is already there. So we have first change in the form of a raised platform, but still the design remains the same. Earlier features, platform is high. However, still we are missing a very important component which will come in the next stage. Example is Parvati temple. Don't have to learn this, but I'm just telling you generally that the Nachna Kurtana, the temple, the Parvati temple there is considered one of the oldest first specimens of a temple made properly. Not Sachi, but the Parvati temple, because it has now developed all features except for one. Now, the most important stage, which is by the end of the Gupta period, things started to develop properly, things started to settle down also. So by stage 3, a very interesting thing happens, which is that all the basic components come through, which is that we have the raised platform. Over and above that, we also have the square design of the, just getting, wait 1 second, it's overlapping. Okay, we have the raised platform, stage 3. Stage 3 got the raised platform, and we also have a raised platform, square, yes, very good, square, and so we now develop all the features: platform, shikhara, garbhagriha, mandapa. Stage 3 is that way very, very important. See, kalsha and amlaka are later decorative patterns we develop in Nagara style. So we don't see them as fundamental elements. We don't see them as fundamental elements. Maybe they have been there, but destruction of the temple, wear and tear of the temple, generally wear and tear is where we lose these parts, so we don't know. So the simple point is we take these 4 as the basic features. Now in stage 4, now they start to show off in the sense that you have a raised platform, but now the square, this was square garbhagriha, now becomes rectangular garbhagriha. Design of the garbhagriha changes, and therefore the shikhar has now become even bigger because of that. Everything else is already there. And by stage 5, they were really showing off because now you have a circular garbhagriha. Everything else remains the same. Which is that by stage 3, we have shikhar, we have all the features, and we have panchayatan. I'm coming to panchayatan, with what it means. And by stage 4 and 5, we have developed a rectangular design in the Teja temple at Sholapur. And by stage 5, we have reached circular garbhagrihas. Now, stage 3 also has a very important concept. But before I do that, try to understand this point. No shikhar, no raised platform, only garbhagriha and mandapa. Thereafter, you get raised platform and you have mandapa and garbhagriha. Thereafter, you add the 4th most important component, which is the shikhar. And then you just play with the design of the garbhagriha. Everything else remains the same. This is the fundamental evolution where now anybody could make any type of temple. Anybody has any issue in these 5 stages of how things are added. Don't have to learn the name of the temples, just have to know how it has changed. If you understand this, I would then introduce what is called as Panchayatana. What is Panchayatan? Introduced in the period of stage 3. Till this point, everybody's following me. No issues? Come on. Have to be more clear because it will become more and more problematic as we go on. Yes? Clear? No issues? Okay. And I'll give you a table to consolidate everything. Now, what is Panchayatan? This is a architectural feature. And if I have to use the technical terminology, it is main god with subsidiary shrines. I'll ask you a question and you will automatically understand. When you go to the temple, or if you've been to the temple, or if you've seen a temple, are there multiple gods in the same temple? Yes. For example, if you will go to a Lord Shiva temple, you will have Lord Parvati, you will have Goddess Parvati, you will have Lord Ganesha, you will have Lord Kartikeya, you will have Nandi, you will have, if you've gone to, for example, Lord Rama, so you will have the Ram Darbad, and Lord Hanuman, you will have multiple gods. But are they in the same place in the temple? Are they the same place in the temple? No. So, for example, if this is the temple complex, mostly what happens is that if this is the main Garbhagriha, this is Lord Shiva, then mostly what would happen is that on every corner of the temple, you would have Lord Ganesha, Goddess Parvati, Lord Kartikeya, you have Nandi. Now this is called Panchayatan. You have main god shrine with subsidiary shrines. But now understand one point. More than one is Panchayatan. Because I know what a lot of you would do. What you will actually do is you will see Panch as Panch, 5. No. It can be 1 plus 1, it can be 1 plus 2, it can be 1 plus 3, it can be 1 plus 4, it can be 1 plus 8. Doesn't matter. All are called Panchayatan only. The main god will have one big shrine. There is something called clusterization, non-clusterization that I will discuss when it comes to Nagara style. That's a separate issue altogether. But first, you understand the concept of Panchayatan, which is multiple shrines in the same temple complex. Is this making sense? What is Panchayatan? It could be without 3 of them. More than one means Panchayatan. Don't go by the word Panch as Panch. Right? More than one structure within the same temple complex is Panchayatan. Are we clear with regards to the first 5 stages? I would like to put them in a different way on a different slide. Are we clear with regards to it? Yes? Okay. So if I make it like this, for example, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I write it like this, Garbhagriha, platform, Mandapa, Shikhara, Panchayatan. So we have Garbhagriha, Mandap, this is raised platform. No Shikhar, no Panchayatan. We have in Garbhagriha, we have platform, we have Mandap, but we don't have these two. Then in 3, Garbhagriha, raised platform, Mandapa, Shikhar, Panchayatan. This is true for all of them. But the only difference is square, rectangular, circular. And the transitions, one is this, one is this, one is this. Make sense? However, again, rearranged all the things into a much simpler way for revision. Is this table making sense to you? Is this table making sense to you? Yes? Okay. So Mandap, Garbhagriha Mandap, platform Mandap Garbhagriha, platform Mandap Garbhagriha Shikhar, rectangular, circular. 2, 3, 4 plus Panchayatan, and 5 and 5, feature wise. If all of this is clear, I would now want to talk about Nagara style. Can I do that? Are we clear regards to this? Can I talk about Nagara? I have to say something. I'm teaching something heavy, given in multiple places. Nitin Singhania, 90 pages. I have to say yes or no right now. Had your lunch. You have the power. The present day temples, no. Present day temples have no specific design. They are a mix and match of a lot of things. We are talking about temples which were developed in the post-Gupta, early medieval period. Not about modern temples, not about colonial temples. Those nowadays, all temples have all designs. It will be North India, but will have Dravida style. That will not that. All of this is discussion for the Gupta, post-Gupta period. Now, in India, these 5 stages of development plus basic component gave way to 3 types of designs in India: in North, in Central, and in South India. In North India, it is called Nagara style. In South India, it is called Dravida style. And in Deccan and in Central India, it is called Vesara style. Vesara style has components of both, which we will discuss. Now, Nagara is further divided into 3 type, or basically 6 different types, which we will discuss. So let's talk about Nagara temples. Now, fortunately, what you have been learning till this point is actually a Nagara temple. But there are multiple points which also need to be known to formalize any question which comes vis-a-vis differences between Nagara, Dravida, and Vesara. So the first point is the design doesn't change. The design doesn't change. We have the Garbhagriha, we have the curvilinear tower along with the Amlaka, and the Amlaka thereafter has the Kalasha on it. Kalasha on it. This is nothing new for you. Thereafter, the Mandap is still there. Mandap is still there. Again, a standard feature which you saw previously. And very simply, the Ardha Mandap again also exists, which is basically an entrance gate. And thereafter, you have the stairs leading up to the temple. However, now the raised platform, as we used to call it, now has a name, which I will tell you what it is. So the basic components remain the same, which is Shikhara, Garbhagriha, Amlaka, Kalsha, Mandapa, Ardha Mandapa. Now there's a new word which comes through, which is this area is called Antartala. Antartala, which is that it is this sector, which is where the Mandap meets the where the Mandap meets the Garbhagriha. It is called Antartal. And now the new word which is there for the base, which is called Pitha. Pitha is nothing but a raised platform. So now they have a word for it, which is raised platform, which is Pitha. Now further. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, one second. Now there's other things which are also part of this whole structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Anybody has any issue in this 8? Because then I will start to diversify. Anybody has any issue in this 8? No issue. Now, 9th point. No boundary wall. 10. No gateway to temple complex. Which means that these temples, and you will realize it if you will go to a very old temple, they don't have walls around them. They are open temples. It's open from all sides, and there's no gateway to enter the temple complex. There's no specific type of, because there's no boundary wall. Basically, there is no Torna and Suchi in the way that the approach to this temple is open. The approach to this temple is open. The temple entrance is called Ardha Mandap. That is not a problem. But if there was, for example, something here, a gate, it would then be very simply called a gateway. There's no gateway. Antartal is the point the Mandapa meets Garbhagriha. Antartal means intermediate. Antartal, what is the transition? So that is the transition from Mandap to Garbhagriha. So do you understand no boundary wall and no gateway? Anybody? I'll add one more. No water tank or resources. Can anybody tell me why in North India there would be no water tank within the temple premises? Come on. No, it's not about storage. Yes, very good, Neha. Very good. There are perennial rivers on which they are based. And therefore, if you will realize, all major temples are based on riverside. So you would rather go to the river, take a holy bath, and then come to the temple itself. The rivers are free-flowing, are perennial, and therefore there is no need for water resources within the temple itself. Now, there is two major points I need to discuss, but for that I need to change the slide. If I do that, anybody has any issue in these 11? Anybody has any issue in these 11? Yeah, this temple is approachable from any sides. You can come from the north, south, east, west, not an issue. If you look at them, they look very, very grand structures. I'll show it to you. For example, look at this temple. This is a very good, this is basically Khajuraho temple. Do you see how it is open from all sides? There is no boundary wall. Kaju, can you see a boundary wall around this temple? Yes or no? You can see there's no wall which is around the temple, and there is no gate in front of the temple. It is open. It is open from all sides. Getting my point with regards to boundary wall and the gateway? Yes? Okay. Now, still anybody any issue? 12, 13, difficult? Difficult not because it's not difficult, that is new to you. Anybody has any issue in these 11? Amitai, clear? Okay. Now let's talk about 12 and 13. Panchayatan with clusterization of shikhars. Panchayatan with clusterization of shikhars. What does this mean? See, there are multiple shrines. So what happens is that in these type of temples, can you see this, or it's showing nothing, just one shikhar with random lines? Can you see the cluster? Yes? No. One second. I'll make it again once. I'll make it again. If you go to, for example, you would have seen that Rishi Sunak image at the Akshardham temple. You've seen that image, Rishi Sunak image at the Akshardham temple. Yes, that is a very good example of what is called clusterization of shikhars. In a way, very simply, there are multiple gods. How many gods are there in this temple? How many gods are there in this temple? Very good. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gods. Which is the main god? Very good. 3. So, in Nagara style, they have Panchayatan with clusterization. And a very important point, the main god is always under the tallest shikhara. Under the tallest shikhara. You will always find the main god under the tallest shikhara. Anybody has any issue in clusterization word and Panchayatan? When I will do Dravida, it will make more sense also. Cluster means these three things. Oh, this one. These three things are different to each other. You can see this. It's a big green bottle that's getting blended. This is 1, 2, 3. This is called non-cluster. They are separate to each other. But if I bring all these things together, this is called a cluster. Clusterization. So 3 different shikhars, clusterization of shikhar. Understood? Okay. Now, the last point is that in Nagara style, the decoration and the imagery on the Garbhagriha is welcoming, and goddess Ganga and Yamuna are used as images. What this means is that the imagery in the temple and the gates of the Garbhagriha will always have symbolically goddess Ganga and Yamuna, and therefore there is a certain type of thing that you bring in. Everybody is welcome in the temple itself. This is in contrast to what I will tell you vis-a-vis the South Indian temples, where you have what are called Dwarpals. Here, there's no concept of Dwarpals or guards who protect the temple. Rather, it is a more welcoming imagery, not fierce imagery. This point will become more clear when we do Dravida, but the point is, together, there are 13 things which make Nagara style Nagara, which is Pitha, Mandapa, Garbhagriha, Shikhar, Amlaka, Kalasha, Antartala, Ardh Mandapa, no boundary wall, no gateway to the temple complex, no water tanks and reservoirs. Over and above that, there is Panchayatan with clusterization of Shikhar, and decoration and imagery is more welcoming with goddess Ganga and Yamuna symbolically present in front of the Garbhagriha. To repeat these points, again, the style of temple is popular in North India. There is a stepped platform through which you go to the temple itself, and that is called Pitha. Therefore, there is no boundary wall. The earliest temples had one tower, but there can be multiple later, and Garbhagriha is always located, or the main god is always located and placed under the tallest tower itself. Further, outside the Garbhagriha, images of goddess Ganga, Yamuna are placed. Further, assembly hall mandapa, Panchayatan style with main sanctum, no water tanks in the premises itself. To show it to you again very simply, you have the Pitha. Jagati is a word which is used specifically for the sub-genre of Nagara in not even sub-genre of Nagara. In a way, it is in Vesara where the Pitha becomes Jagati, which I will tell you. So we will use the term Pitha only. So you have Pitha, you have the Ardha Mandapa, then you have the Mandapa, then you have the cutoff point between these two. That is Antartala. Then you have Shikhar, Amlaka, Kalasha, Garbhagriha. Forget about this Uru Shikha, which is a smaller Shikhar, is called Uru Shikhar. And Pardakshin Path is straightforward. This is again basement is not important. So you have again standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anybody? Gateway, Kaju. Again, you're stuck at this only. Gateway would be, for example, if there is a temple with all the paraphernalia and everything, and there would be a boundary wall with a gateway. This is a gateway. In your house, if you have, for example, when you become an IAS officer, you will get a house. In that house, there will be a main door, but that will be a door for your house, right? But then you will have a good lawn, a good open area, and then you will have a gate. So in your school or in your college, there would be a gateway, right? There would be a steel gateway. When you go to give the examination, you wait outside the gateway, and then you go inside the school. Now, getting my point with the gateway, what do you mean by that? Antartala, same thing. Avni, no, it is a mixture of a lot of different styles now. Okay, Nagara taken from the word, what is the meaning of Nagara? Nagara is Nagara. Nagar can be a word, but Nagara style is an implication for North India. There's no meaning for Nagara. There's no meaning for Dravida. There's no meaning for Vesara. Nagara is just a style, word which was used in different texts itself. Are we clear? You're now digressing. Are we clear with regards to the 13 points we have discussed here? Because the stories does not end here. Nagara is further classified into further different subgenres. Are we clear with regards to this? Yes, no, have to say something. Yes, clear. Very good. Now, okay, now Nagara style is further subdivided into two things. Or is because there is a lot of variation, regional variation, and variation in design and in way also. So you have Nagara, you have according to Shikhar, there is division into 3, and according to region or regional variation, there's also further division into 3. According to Shikhar, it is called Latina, Famsana, Valabhi, and according to region, it is called Odisha, Khajuraho, and Solanki. So first we'll pick up Shikhar. So Nagara style all 13 points remain, but variation according to Shikhar. Now I want to have both your hands free. We are going to do an pranayam. We have to do a pranayam. If you're holding a phone, if you're holding a tablet, if you're holding anything, both hands should be free. I left my pen on the side. I need both hands free. Yes? Okay. Done? Done. Yes. Okay. Now take your hands like this and make this. Make this. This is pranayam number 1. Pranayam number 1. Both hands parallel to each other, but meet on the top. Meet on the top. This pranayam is called the Latina pranayam. Latina Shikhar. Right? Latina. The spelling you see because I don't want you to mess it up later. Latina. Also called Rekha Prasada. So we'll call it Latina or Rekha Prasada. Now, what was the feature of the pranayam? The feature is that it is called a curvy linear tower in which the walls, the parallel walls, remain for quite a long time parallel, like this, but then very sharply meet at the top. Very sharply meet at the top. This is called a Latina Shikhar. This is called a Latina Shikhar. This is called curvy linear Shikhara. It's about a matter of perspective. From the outside, it is convex, what we call as convex. From the inside, you can call it concave. Convex curve. So it is bulging towards the out. Bulging towards the out, very quickly meeting at the top. This is called Latina. The next one is called Famsana Pranayam or Shikhar. Again, both hands free. Till this point, everybody with me. No issue. Latina. Okay. Now, again, both hands free. Right? Now, what I want you to do is that I want you to open your palms and meet it like this. Now, your hand should curve inward. This is Famsana. This is Latina. Famsana, Latina, Famsana, Latina, Famsana, Latina. Latina is when it meets quickly on the top, curvy linearity. Famsana is when the base is a little bit more broader and there's a concave shape. And tell me, will a Latina be taller or a Famsana be taller? Come on, tell me. Latina taller, Famsana taller? Latina, because Latina you can have parallel and then meet. You can see it for yourself. Here it is reaching till this point. But if I do it like this, it goes down. A Latina will always be taller, a Famsana will always be lower. Famsana very simply are mostly in a way stepped. Here, you see, very simply, if I draw a line like this, concave curve, square base, and stepped. Shikhar, square, base, walls. Slope inward, it's about how you look at it. Slopes inward, also called Rekha Prasada. This is the example for this. Famsana building is broader, shorter than Latina, and the way it is outwards, wherein the roofs are composed of several slabs, gently rising to the point of the center, which is 1, 2, 3, reaching till this point. And the very simple point is they're much shorter than a Latina. And Famsana do not curve inwards, instead they are either straight or go outwards. Inward and outwards matter as per perspective. Very simply as per perspective. This could be inward for you, somebody could be outwards. It's if you look at from here or here, that's the difference. So rather I use the word convex for this and concave for this. That is a better word because inward outward makes no sense. So we have two types: curvy linear, inward, and outward, or convex and concave. Famsana and Latina you will be able to identify according to the way it has been made. Yes? Come on. Yes, no, I have to say something. Yes, okay. Now, the last type is called Vallabhi style. And you can remember it like this also. Your pranayams will help you. Latina, Famsana, Latina, Famsana. Latina, Famsana. Shushmit, you want to see photo once again? Latina, Famsana. Happy, Shushmit? Satisfied? Okay. Vallabhi. Vallabhi is called vaulted Shikhar. In this, the main thing is that when you have the base as a rectangle, then this is called Vallabhi. I'll show you an image of it. Vallabhi has this vaulted design. Basically, like walls are kept off on each other. This is called vaulted Vallabhi design. Subtype and rectangular buildings, vaulted chambers, and formed by this is standard 5th century. By the time we come to the Gupta period, it has become very standard. So very simply, just to keep all three on the same page, you have Latina. Famsana and Valabi. Anybody any issue here? These three types according to Nagara, Shikhara. Anybody has any issue? Then I'll give you a break here, and then we will go forward with these regional rules. We have too much to manage. Valabi is 3 points, rectangular, vaulted, and that's it. 2 points. They're not even 3 points. What is the issue? According to Shikhar, one is inward, one is outward, and the other one is vaulted. This is the only point which you need to know. Inward, outward, vaulted. That's it. In the examination, they will describe it to you. You should be able to identify. Come on. Jagdish, have to tell me the issue. These are regional variations. Sushmit, come on, tell me. I'm telling this is according to Shikhar. You are saying regional variation. I'm telling you this. Is this regional variation? Shikhar. Sushmit, you only tell me. This is regional variation. This is according to Shikhar. Regional variation I'm coming to. Region or Odisha and all. Are we clear till this point? Still one complication is left. I'm not touching it right now. The 13 points which were true plus these Shikhar. Anybody has any issue? Yes, no, have to say something. Then only we take a break. Valabi in North India can be seen in which area? Again, North, it is these Shikhars can be used in any area of North India. Can be in East, West, anywhere. There is no set rule. This is variation according to Shikhar. It could be in Jammu and Kashmir and it could be in Bengal. Both could have mix of Latina Famsana, and that is not the differentiation. This is according to Shikhar. Regional variation would be according to region. There are only three: Odisha, Khajuraho, and Solanki. Right now, we are not talking about it. In the same place in Delhi, you could have a Latina also, have a Famsana also. In Odisha, for example, Lingaraja temple is a Latina, and the Sun Temple Konark is rather a Famsana. So there can be differences. That's not a problem. So are we clear with regards to these points? Have to be more vocal, have to be more clear. No issues. Okay. So then we take a break. It's what? 5:05. Come back at 5:15. Finish Nagara in this section. And when we take our 20 minutes break, we will come back and do Dravida. This type is only in north side, obviously, because it is Nagara. Now what you're doing is that you're fundamentally altering what we're doing. Nagara will always be in North India. This is within North India variation. Are you getting my point? This Himalayas are there. Then there's inner Himalaya, outward Himalaya, Shivalik, this, that. This is that Shivalik and all are in Himalaya only. Same way, all are in North India only. The point is that they have different, same place can have three temples with three different shikhars. Anu, getting my point? All are not because it is North India, Nagara. Yes, no, say something. Yes, okay. We come back at 5:15 and we take the story forward. No, Gayu, the class has not ended. Okay. Like, last 15-20 minutes. Can I expect attention from you? That is, I gave you this break. Could see the fatigue because somehow Shikhar is now becoming Legion. Yes? Okay. So, according to Shikhar, Nagara 13, these 13, plus 3 types of variations can be there. So, very simply, these are the 13 designs or 13 components which make Nagara. According to Shikhar, there can be 3 variations. This can be in any region, in same place, 3 temples can be made in 3 different Shikhars. But what will be common to them will be these 13 features. So, this is one way of division of Nagara. Anybody has any issue here? Still fundamentally don't understand, tell me. Then I will discuss regional variations. Okay, now according to regional variation, Nagara style can be divided into 3 regions. One is called Odisha school. The concept of school is very simple. You all come from, for example, CBSE board or ICSE board or from a regional board of your state. But same syllabus was there, but schools were different. Same way, this is your school and this is ICSE, CBSE or Karnataka board, whatever board, and this is your school. So the basic concept remains the same, but there's little bit of variations. In your school, science is taught well. In some other school, humanities is taught well. In some other school, mathematics is taught well. So very simply, school is that there is no fundamental difference, but there can be little bit of differences. For example, Odisha school is a school within Nagara style. Why? Why? Because there are 3 things which change. The word Shikhar is replaced by a word called the word Rekhadul. Where did they get the word Rekha from? Have you used the word Rekha before this? Very good. Latina is called Rekha Prasada, so Rekhadul. The Mandapa word Mandap becomes Jagmohan. Concept exactly same. The words change. Words change. Plus, there is one exception, which is boundary walls are present in Odisha Nagara school. Odisha Nagara school. So, when we talk about Odisha, this is Sun Temple Konark, and this is Lingaraja Temple. Can anybody tell me Sun Temple Konark, which type of Shikhar? Sun Temple Konark, which type of Shikhar? Very good, Famsana. And Lingaraja, Latina. Famsana, Latina. Right? Okay. Now, what are the basic features? 2 examples we already discussed. Lavish exterior decoration. Interior walls are very plain. No use of pillars inside the temple. Iron girders are used. Basically, they use very good iron girders. They use big girders. You would have for sure seen in your life what are called garter patti houses. Garter patti, I think you would have heard it for sure. So you would have seen something like this. This is called garter. This is called garter. Iron garter is this, or beam as we call it, but in regional variations in the way we call it, this is called garter. And they will then put big red colored slabs on it on both sides. And then you get a roof of a house. Ever seen it? One iron beam in the middle and then red colored big sandstone. This is called an iron beam or girders. So very simply, in Odisha style, they use the iron girders quite a lot to make the roof. Shikhar becomes Rekhadul, Mandap becomes Jagmohan, square plan, but this is the exception. Boundary walls are there in this temple. All 13 features are there, but there's one exception, so 12 features are there. This is Odisha school. Now, the second school is called Khajuraho school of Nagara. When we talk about Khajuraho school of Nagara, it is very, very important to understand that this is the best example of Nagara. Has all 13 features with no exceptions, but the theme is not based on other temples. The theme is eroticism coming out of the Kama Sutra. That is the only reason why we call it Khajuraho school separately. See, Khajuraho school, you have the Lakshmana temple and the Kanderiya Mahadevi temple at Khajuraho, was in the news also. It's the best example. You can see Pitha, you can see Panchayatan, you can see Shikhar, you can see Mandap, you can see Armandap. There is no boundary wall, there is no entry gate. So it is in the central part. Chandela rulers made it. Both interior and exterior walls lavishly decorated. Theme is Kama Sutra eroticism, made out of sandstone. Has Garbhagriha Mandap, Armandap, north and east facing, built on high platform. Jain temples of this region also exhibit the same type of quality. Panchayatan has followed. This is the best example. There are no exceptions. Now the last school which is there is very simply called the Solanki school. Solanki school means Gujarat, and Solanki school has 4 very important distinctions. Firstly, it has boundary wall, it has water tank. Exception. Why are you mentioning it as Khajuraho school and not temple? Khajuraho temple is nothing. Khajuraho temple complex is there because it is based in Khajuraho. Within Khajuraho temple complex, you have Kanderiya Mahadevi temple and Lakshmana temple. So Nitin, you are confusing the place Khajuraho with the temples which are there in Khajuraho, which are called Khajuraho temple complex. And the school is called Khajuraho because it is based on the temples which are found in Khajuraho. Make sense? Peters, come on, Nitin. No, did not make sense. Achha, I'll tell you. How do I tell it to you? There's a place called Khajuraho, and there are 2 temples: Lakshmana temple, Kanderiya Mahadevi temple. This whole thing is not called Khajuraho temple. They're called Khajuraho Temple Complex. You may call it Khajuraho Temple, but Khajuraho Temple is nothing. Khajuraho Temple is these two temples. It's called Khajuraho Temple Complex. So if I have to call it a school, I will call it Khajuraho School, right? Now does it make sense? Khajuraho is a place. Solanki School. Solanki School. Boundary wall, water tank, but one of the most beautiful water tank because they have step wells, which are called Surya Kunds, because they have a habit of making what are called sun temples. And the next three is that they also have an entry gate, which are called Torana, and very simply, Solanki has all other features of Nagara. So the exception here is these three: boundary wall, water tank, and entry gate. Sun temple, Solankis made a lot of them, prevalent in Gujarat, Rajasthan. Solanki rulers made it. Mostly the temples are devoid of a lot of carving, but Modhera is a very good example of the sun temple itself, made by Bhima I. Garbhagriha and Mandapa are connected internally, externally. Basically, there's no antartal in a way that you can go from Mandap to Garbhagriha, but you can also enter the Garbhagriha from outside. Then decorated gateways. This word is picked up from which religion? This word is picked up from which religion? How to learn so much information? I'll tell you. Don't worry. Buddhism, very good. Surya Kunds are a unique feature. A lot of what we call step wells in that regard, and use of diverse material. They use the black basaltic rock, which is available quite a lot in this section. And their temples mostly face the east, as it is because they're sun temples. So now Gayu's question is, what do I do with all this information? What do I do with all this information? How do I learn all this information? Firstly, first and foremost thing, Gayu and everybody, come on. I have discussed 13 features with you. Antartal, Garbhagriha, Mandap, Ardha Mandap. You have Pitha, Shikhar, Amlaka, Kalash. Anybody has any issue in learning these 13? Gayu, come on, tell me. Any issue in learning these 13? Is Jagannath Temple an example of Khajuraho school? Jagannath Temple is where, Kaju? Kaju, where is Jagannath Temple? In Odisha. So what school should it be? What school should it be? I want to hear from Kaju's. Kaju, what school should it be? Waiting, Kaju. Nitin, you said Khajuraho. Why? What is the confusion here? I'm not understanding. So Nitin, as it is in Odisha, it should be called Khajuraho. Where is Khajuraho, Nitin? Where is Khajuraho? We can't playing a game here. Khajuraho is in MP, not in Odisha. Nitin, don't undo whatever I've done for the past 6 hours. Okay, sir. You understand what you were saying, Nitin? Because I don't know how to. Khajuraho is in MP. Odisha is in Odisha. Solanki is Gujarat and Rajasthan. That is why the regional variation, right? Are we all clear? What are we doing here? I'm not getting. What is the conversation? Very simply, 13 features. Now I'm not going to go forward till everybody else. These 13 features were taught to you. Anybody has any issue here? And I don't hear everybody's yes, I don't move forward. Some of you are sitting there randomly. I don't know with what in your mind. Anybody has any issue here? If yes, you tell me what is the issue. What is the issue? Then we move forward. If anybody says yes, we wait for that person. No issue in this. Pitha is the base. Raised platform is called Pitha in Nagara style. Nobody has no issues in these 13. Now, very simply, these 13 are called Nagara style. Now, Nagara style can also vary as per region, and because Shikhar design is not very simply put in as a fixed concept, Nagara style is the 13. Thereafter, Nagara can be divided into 2 types. One differentiation is on Shikhara, and one is on region. Now, in Shikhar, there can be inward Latina, outward Famsana, and rectangle Valabi. And in region, it can be Odisha, Khajuraho, MP, and Solanki, Rajasthan, Gujarat. So very simply, you tell me, can there be a temple in Rajasthan which has all 13 features and a Shikhar which is inwards? What will we call this temple? Has all 13 features, has an inward temple, inward. Okay, this will be called, very good. No. Sridevi, this will be called a Nagara Latina. Very good. Perfect. Now you're becoming historians. We will not call it Solanki because Solanki, there would have to be exceptions. Let's do one thing. Let's play a game. And once everybody gets the game right, then only we move forward. Can we do it? Because now I get it, you are mixing things up. And therefore, I need to make sure that you understand. Okay, very good. A, B, C, D, E, and F. There are 6 different temples. Now please pay attention. 13 means all 13 features, right? This has 13 features. Plus a inward, or rather I'll not use the word inward, I'll use convex Shikhar. This one has 12 features, plus has boundary wall, and plus has concave Shikhar. This one has only 9 features, plus it has a concave Shikhar. This one has a boundary wall, this one has a water tank, and this one has an entry gate. right? Thereafter, this one has 13 features, plus is in Rajasthan, plus it has rectangular shikhara. Thereafter, I have one more type of combination, which is that 13 plus it is in MP, plus it has erotic theme, and very simply also has what we call as convex shikhara. Now, last but not the least is has 12 features, boundary wall plus convex, plus it is in Odisha. This one is also in Odisha, and this one is in, no, we'll not put this in Odisha. We'll not put these either of them in Odisha. This is in Bengal, this is in Haryana, this is in Ahmedabad, this is in Puri, this is in Rajasthan already written, this is in MP. Now tell me, I'm going to push a poll to you. I'm going to push up a poll, can't be there too many options. Tell me what is A? What is A? Don't rush, don't give me all answers. Give me what is A. It is a very good Nagara Latina. Anybody has any issue in understanding why we put this as Nagara Latina? No? Very good. Now what is B then? Very good. Good, Avni. Very good. Very good. Picked up. Sridevi, locations of Trupti. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Anu, there needs to be 3 features I'm looking for. I know it is Nagara. Obviously, I've taught you Nagara only. I know it is Famsana. But I'm trying to teach you something. It is also what? It is also Odisha school. It is not a given that area will. It's a Odisha school. Odisha school design can be also there in Haryana. Understand this point. The feature matters. What feature is it exhibiting? So this is Nagara, Famsana, Odisha. Now tell me, what is C? What is C? Okay, very good. This is Nagara, Solanki, Famsana. Very good. Now, let's come to F. What is F? What is F? F. Hardeep, it cannot be Valabi. D is Valabi. The only one Valabi is D. Very good. This is Odisha, Nagara plus Latina. Convex it is written. Convex. Yeah, very good. This one will be what? This one will be what? 13 plus Rajasthan plus rectangle. Very good. Only Nagara plus Valabi. Location does not matter because it is exhibiting all. And this is Nagara, Khajuraho, Latina. Now you get it why Khajuraho is a separate school, because for that you need to have erotic theme. Now does it make sense? Don't worry, nobody is asking you to do this. Nobody is going to give you a CSAT question like this. But what I want to prove between B and F is schools are not linked to location only. It is about features. It is about features. So Odisha school features may be exhibited in Haryana also. We call them schools because they were developed in that region. Nitin and Kaju, are you getting my point? You need revision. Obviously, you need revision. That's not the point. The point is very simply, are you getting the application of this knowledge? So what I want from you very simply is, next time when you go out to the temple where you go and worship, check what features it is exhibiting. That is how you revise. Understand this point. Odisha school is a certain set of features that can be exhibited all across India, but it's a regional school which may have been replicated. Same way, Solanki school can be replicated other places also, and Khajuraho can be replicated. If it has all 13 features and does not have the quirks, it is Nagara standard. But you can see everywhere we have a certain type of shikhar for sure. Shikhar will always be there, component will always be there. It is only the regional school component which actually will vary as per features exhibited. If all 13, it is pure Nagara. If it has certain differentiations, then it is something else. Are we now clear with regards to what does this whole concept mean? And now, Gayu, do you have the ability to understand this and apply it via understanding? It is not something you learn. You understand 13 features in the same. It is about exceptions. Can I close this story and we take a break and come back and do Dravida and Vesara? Can we do that? This is not the way the book has written it. The book has a very, very bad way of teaching all of this. And I hope now you have conceptual clarity, because conceptual clarity will give you the ability to write an answer in the examination. Yes? Okay. So we will now take a break because I've taken your 5 minutes. We'll come back at 6:05. We'll come back at 6:05 and we will take the story forward and discuss Dravida and Vesara. Right? Thank you. Yes, Prabhu, it will.